This is an apple. From memory, it's something like, it's one of the russets. This next to it is a pear tree, so we're not going to pay any attention to that. And this next to it here is another apple. This is, I think it's Red Windsor. As you can see, it's in flower. It's, if I go in relatively close and then zoom, you'll see that the flowers are fully open. In fact, to be honest, they're just beginning to go over. You can sort of see a bit of yellowing and such like around them. They've sort of had it. They probably don't have any pollen in them anymore, which is why pollination groups are important, because if I didn't have a saving grace elsewhere in the garden, then this, let's assume it's a russet for a moment, is not open, as you can see. If there is an open flower on it, they opened today. In fact, actually, I've just seen one. I was planning this video earlier on and it wasn't open, so that's brand spanking new. This, whatever it is, let's call it a russet, is not going to get pollinated by, you see the pear, but more importantly, it's not going to get pollinated by the Red Windsor over here. So they are at least 2 pollination groups, perhaps 3 pollination groups apart, and they won't work together. The saving grace is, oh, by the way, I suppose I ought to say, if there was no other compatible pollinator relatively nearby, I would find my crops would be diminished. Saving grace is here. This is a crab apple. In this case, I know exactly what it is. It's Everest. I think it's one of the very best of them. It's, as you can see, it's covered in blossoms, fantastic. Lovely red buds opening out to almost pure white blossom, little bits of pink on the backs of the petals, but as the flowers develop, that disappears. And then later on in the season, it's going to be covered in crab apples. This will pollinate pretty much any apple tree in any pollination group. So the simple answer to the question of pollination groups is plant a crab apple nearby and you don't have to worry about it. But if it wasn't for this crab apple, then I would find I wouldn't get any crops off either of these two, and actually we get excellent crops off both. So thank you, Everest, thank you, crab apples. Simple solution to pollination groups.